Welcome back. I am Natalie, and this is Living with Lady Madison Winter Preparation Edition for you. So, I know that we have a storm that is a brewing, and it's making everyone really nervous. I have been a prepper for years. I have lived in extreme climates. I'm originally from New York on Long Island, but I've lived in Alaska. I've lived in Japan. I've lived all over different places where just inclement weather and different things kind of grew up. And I lived in Texas as well, so that was wild. Anyway, I wanted to go over a few things that might save a life, that might make things a lot more comfortable for you while you are in this season. Number one, I want to make sure that all my ladies know to get their feminine products before the stores close, because once they're closed, we're done. Okay, make sure you have your feminine products. People who need medication, make sure you have a good supply, at least a 2-week supply, because things are just going to be backed up. So let's make sure we have that in place. Another thing I wanted to talk about is water. We all know we need water. I went to Dollar Tree and picked up these 1-gallon jugs. I have about 3 big containers of the bottled water that's from Costco. So I have like 3 tubs of those. And when I say I prep, I make sure I have everything, like straws in case the water goes out. We have all the things in the basement. So make sure you can do what you can do, but we're not going into full prep mode right now because it's a little late for that. I will have videos explaining what you can do and how you can prepare a pantry, how you can prepare stored foods and things like that for your future. And hopefully, if you are interested in that, please let me know in the comment. Also, please like and subscribe to the channel. We are decorating home, shopping, thrift store, antique, gardening channel, and we do love to prep in this house as well and have fun. So, one item I thought was super cool was this Power Reserve light kit. It's from Costco. I believe you can probably get it online at any like Amazon, Walmart, but this was like $13-14. I think they're on sale right now at Costco. I bought this months ago because I saw it on Amazon and I was going to purchase it. It only had 2. This one has 10. Oh wait, 2, 4, 6. 6 bulbs. They can stay on for 10 hours. So what the deal is you put them into your regular light bulb area that is on your regular light. And then when it comes time to the power being out, you can pull them out and they have like a regular socket that you can carry around and use it as a pseudo flashlight or just a regular light for you to read and do things. It's also really good OPSEC, operational security, former military, to make sure your house is properly lit, okay? Because when people see homes that are unattended, unlit, dimly lit, that is a giveaway for a person to say, this probably is an easy home to get into. Make sure you're locking your doors. Make sure you're locking all of your windows. We do not want anyone trying to get cute coming into your home. But anyway, we're not living in fear, but I'm just trying to prep you for what it is. Another item that I love lights. So for this one, try not to get you in the eye, but it has a few different options. It has a red, if you're an emergency, a blinking light. It's nice to pop one of these in your vehicle, God forbid if you need it. It also has Bluetooth speaker on it because, I love to have music anywhere that I'm at. So this is a great option if you're walking around, if you need to walk your dog. You can clip this onto your carabiner or onto your pant leg, wherever, whatever you need. But I thought this was really cool. It's called Infinity X1. And I have about 4 of these. I have one in the greenhouse. I have them at each door. Also, making sure you change your batteries in all of your flashlights. I have a flashlight on every level of the floor of my home. Flashlights are in the car. We have things for every occasion. Another great idea. Now, this was super cool. This is a Fate electric situation. So this is like a work light. And God forbid if you need to have some light, I mean, it does all the colors. It's really good, very bright, lasts a long time. Make sure you're charging everything before the storms start. So this is a great idea to have. It pulls out just like your regular work light. I won't pull it out right now because I need to go on to the next thing. Okay. Oh boy. All right, the next thing, what I like to have is a battery pack ready to go. It's ready charged. We're fully charged and ready to go. It has an Apple for all my Apple girlies and boys, and an Android, and it has inputs for if you have a C cable and if you have a regular bottom for plugging in here to charge. And this will give you a good couple of charges. Also try to get a nice solar one. That would be a great idea. Non-perishable foods. This is from Dollar Tree. I just picked up a 2% milk. I didn't pick up the almond milk because I felt like there was a little too much ingredients. My husband and I like lactate milk, but this is just for an emergency. If we need it, we have powdered milks. We have a bunch of canned soups. Make sure that you are prepared with non-perishable foods, macaroni and cheese, things that don't require you to open your refrigerator, God forbid, if the power is out. Another cool idea that I kind of brought down, these are called mobile warming socks. They're heated merino wool socks. Wool socks are the truth. So I'm going to grab them real quick. And so they come with this battery pack. And here's the little plug for it to go into. And they're pretty nice. I wore them earlier this year when we had a little bit of snow. And they are great. And they your feet just stay nice and toasty. So the two things you want to stay warm, keep warm, is your head, your hands, and your feet, your extremities. Because a lot of time, that's where people lose heat the most. So it's nice to have some heated socks. I think this can stay on for about up to 10 hours. So if you get these socks, and there's different ranges of how much heat you want, so that depends on how long it stays. So this is a great option. Another option, just regular wool socks. I love my wool socks. Try not to put them in the dryer because they kind of shrink a little bit because it's a natural substance, wool. So make sure when you're done washing them, you just lay them flat and then you reshape them when they're out. So I'm gonna put this right back. Another item, I'm just going to bring my notes here, that a lot of people think is for decor, but actually can help you in a pinch, are these little lights that we have here. So these are all chargeable, and I'm going to recharge this once I'm done. But little things like this is nice to have if you still want to read for security. I also have big ones here. Now, I did get this one from Lidl's, and I'm not a brand ambassador for Lidl's, although they should have me. This is nice because it is a nice lamp that gives off good light. I used to use these outside, but I brought them inside because of the weather, and it is such a nice lamp. I usually leave them, you've seen them in many videos that I've shot. I leave them in the living room, so I have 2 of those. And I have different sizes of little table lamps like this, and they give a good amount of light, so you will not be in a bad way for reading at all. So that's great to have. Another thing, a gas portable stove top. Now this was from the garage, so it is a little dusty, but I'm going to show you what we got. I bought this years ago because, as I said, I love prepping and being ready for whatever. You do need these gas power cans. Now, I'm going to give you a tip that's going to save you a whole lot of headache. A lot of the Asian food markets sell these. So if you're in a pinch and you still need one and you're like, I don't know what to do, try to get to an Asian market today. They should still be open. It is Saturday. And get one of these gas-powered stovetops. And don't forget the gas power fuel. These this fuel goes right in here. You take one out and you pop it in. Some of them say to crack your window just a little bit. I would make sure that your CO2, your carbon monoxide alarms are checked and set and ready to go. And also I have a little portable one that monitors by percentage to see how much CO2 is in the air, just in case I need to burp the house, which means to open the windows and to make sure some fresh ventilated air comes in. So that's another option. Okay, I'm gonna put this down. Another option we have is just a ridiculous amount of candles. Now, please do not leave candles unattended in your home. The one thing you don't want to do is have an actual fire in your home. That's not the kindling we want. So make sure you have nice pillar candles, something underneath them to collect the dripping wax. If you're in a bad way, make sure you have that. I have my notes here. I already talked about, make sure you have a fire kit going on here. So we have fire blankets just in case anything goes wired. It just gets really weird. If anything starts catching on fire, you have a fire extinguisher. Make sure you have a fire blanket if you have that. And make sure it's in the vicinity that you are trying to have the heat source. So speaking of heat sources, I have a kerosene heater that we've had for years, and I want to make sure if you do have a kerosene heater or any type of propane heater, you check the inlet to make sure everything is tightly, wound up. Everything is in its place, making sure that the oil is not leaking out, making sure everything is in its proper order, because you don't want to bring that into your house and have fumes of oil or gas in your home unnecessarily. So make sure you clean it, test it before you bring it inside in a well ventilated area, preferably a garage. If you don't have a garage, it is super cold out, just do it outside. And make sure you crack your windows initially to get that first burn out. If you can do the first burn outside, better to do it. So if you have, God willing, we will not have power outages, but they're projecting that we will have power outages. What I say to that, please do not panic. Pray. So we're going to replace the P for the P. So don't panic. We're going to pray, because we act like God does not still do things and that he's still not a miracle worker. As my husband says, you act like God doesn't still do miracles. Will you please put your faith and trust in the Lord? And he has a funny way of getting us all to get on our knees and pray and to watch him create a miracle. So I'm definitely praying that everyone is going to be safe out there and that cooler heads prevail. I know the grocery stores are an absolute mess and people are panicking. It feels like you know what from 2020 and everyone's losing their minds. Calm down. We're going to get through this together. The beautiful thing is that if you have a neighbor, if you have friends, people are going to open their homes to you. Strangers open their homes to people. My sister had an incident a long time ago, and there was an ice storm, and a stranger let her stay in their house when her car broke down in an ice storm. And thank God, I was so nervous, but the kindness of strangers and God's miracles still do happen, so don't lose faith. I just wanted to let you know that. Another thing you can do is to make sure you collect all your blankets, have them ready to go in case the power does go out. Put barriers up against your doors if they're drafty and windows. You can also use bubble wrap or just plastic bags on your windows to make sure that wind is not entering into the home. Okay. Another thing, a lot of times toilets don't work when the electricity is out. So what I personally would do, if you have a bathtub that is next to your toilet, I would fill it up with water before things go south. And make sure you have a full tub of water, or get a bucket or a couple of gallons of water. And once you're done using the bathroom, just put the water in the commode and flush the toilet like usual. If you cannot do that, you can also get a regular Lowe's or Home Depot bucket, 5-gallon bucket. You can put a plastic bag in it. I would put some tissue at the bottom or any kind of bedding or something just to make sure no splashback happens. I know it's TMI. And I would utilize that, and I would get rid of it as soon as possible so you don't have a stinky house. And one thing you don't want to do is have just garbage lingering around in your home. So, now that that's said, for all my garden girlies and guys, for your plants, make sure you're watering your plants indoors before any electricity ends. So, make sure your plants are nicely watered. If you can, turn on the humidity because that helps with keeping the heat in your home if you do end up not having electricity later in the day. Another option is to talk about emergency situations. So make sure your cell phone is always charged. You can always go in your car and charge your phone. Just make sure you're not sealed in your garage. We're still doing safety. Make sure that you can charge your phone for a little bit. Drive around if you can. If you cannot, just keep your car idle in your parking spot, but just charge your phone and make sure you know that you can always call 911. And if there is an emergency, sometimes it is hard for people to get to you. So make sure you know a little bit of emergency protocol to try to help. Make sure you have band-aids, burn things for if people have been burnt in the home, things for people, make sure everyone has their medication, inhalers. You don't want to be left in a situation where you could have helped and you didn't have the proper tools to help. So just keep that in mind. And I'm just going to look at my list to make sure I have everything for you. The non-perishable foods is great. You know, I'm not from the South, but I love grits. So things like that, you can cook grits. You can make pasta. Pasta is not, you know, a big deal, but just make sure you have enough water stored because a lot of people don't realize you need water to wash your body. Make sure you're being very conscious about how much water you're using. Heat up the water if you need. Make sure you are getting rid of that dirty water. You can put it down your toilet and hopefully that is working. Also, make sure you're staying lubricated, as in lotions and creams for your body, because the one thing you don't want to have is an open sore. You don't want any open cuts for all the people who have diabetes and other issues, congestive heart failure issues. Make sure that you are sitting upright. Make sure that you are doing all the things that you know you're supposed to do. Compression socks, make sure you have those on throughout the day. Don't skimp on the things that you've always done to keep yourself safe and start doing things different. Make sure you're taking your medication on time, set your timer, because a lot of times when there's no electricity, you kind of lose sight of to what's going on. So I want you to know that you are your most top priority. You have to stay safe. You have to stay well fed, well hydrated. So make sure you have enough water. Make sure you're moisturized and your lips are moisturized. You don't want cracks in your lips because that can cause a problem. And make sure you're taking your medication. And if the weather permits, if you're not, you know, cold sensitive like I am, get outside and take a walk. It's actually good for your body to get outside and get some vitamin D and get some fresh air, even being cooped in. And also, another thing people forget is that you don't have to stay in your home. There are places that have generators. There are places you can look at your municipality and it says like where warming centers are. If the mall is open, if places are open like hotels, you can stay in the lobby. Things like that. Don't feel like you have to suffer. Restaurants are open. Sometimes, you know, they have generators as well. Don't feel like you have to suffer in silence. And your area might have the power out, but the next area that's next to you might be just fine. So make sure you're being inquisitive and keeping up with what's going on. And God forbid, if the power does go out, make sure you contact your electricity company, your gas company. And if you smell anything that smells like rotten eggs, get out of the house immediately or anywhere near that source, because that usually means that you have a gas leak. So make sure you're being prepared. Oh, talking about leaks, I want to make sure that you know to open up all the doors in your home to circulate your heat when you do have it and when you don't have it, even when the electricity is off. Make sure these room doors are open and underneath your cabinets for where your water is for your sinks. Make sure that that is open, and if you need to put a little space heater in those bathrooms to make sure your pipes don't burst, that's a great idea. Trickle your water, or hot and cold water, to make sure you have a nice steady stream. For some people who are in extreme cold, we're getting down to -10 degrees in Virginia, which is, That's pretty cold for Virginia, I will say. I'm used to that in Alaska, but a lot of people aren't used to that here. I don't know if our infrastructure is good like that. Things to for people who have hot tubs like myself, I have to make sure that if the electricity goes off, that I can try to put a space heater with a generator underneath the hot tub. And if not, you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry. You can always replace a hot tub. We have insurance, or you know what? It's better just to keep your life than to go outside in these harsh environments. So weigh it out, see what you have to do, and remember you can always rely on friends and family and neighbors. And if you have any suggestions, if you have any, quick tips, long tips as well, please put them in the comments. We need to grow as a family because we love information here. We love everything home, and this has to do with the home, being prepared. I will tell you what, we will do a prepping video in the coming weeks. I will resetting up my storage in the basement, and we have big storage in the garage as well, where I keep grains, seeds, all the things. I mill my own grain for bread making, and if you need to make noodles, which I buy pasta in bulk, but I do have a pasta machine. But there are things that you can do, and you don't have to rely on the grocery store 100%. That's why we're getting our gardens together. That's why we're dreaming up what we're going to do. So don't let this little blip in time defunk your whole rest of the year. We're going to be prepping for the future. We're going to be gardening. We're going to be setting up our pantries. Some people call them larders. If you have vegetation in there, like pumpkins, like I saved pumpkins, which we're going to process those together, not in this video, but in the future once we're out of this situation. And so there's things to look forward to. Get a good book, get a good magazine, open your home to your neighbors if you need to. If you see a stranger, please help them, because God forbid, if it were you, I'd want them to help you. And just don't panic. Pray and be your own advocate. Help yourself. Look at what we went over, and hopefully I went over. Oh, the last thing I will tell you, this really helps me a lot. Open up your blinds and your curtains during the day. Make sure that sun, because those solar lights that come into your home is actually heating your home. So don't think that, oh, the electricity's off, or, oh, the electricity's still on, I'll just leave all the curtains closed. You're actually doing yourself a disservice. Make sure all of your window coverings are off of the window, and get that sunlight into your home so your house can warm up. It warms up actually like 5 degrees or 6 degrees more when you have your windows open. And then during dusk, or if it's completely dark outside, early because of the snow and it's just really dark, it still has some sun, but during dusk, you close your curtains and your blinds, and make sure you're shutting the house up, so you make sure you conserve that heat that you've got from Mother Nature giving it to you. So I hope that you guys stay safe. Please, as I said, let's become a community. Hit the like and subscribe. I need you guys to subscribe because I want YouTube to understand that you actually like this content. I'm praying that God protect and keep you all. I'm praying that God's heavenly angels are protecting all of us as we go through this storm together, and we can do this together. Please do not panic, but pray and prepare. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and know that I'm here. I'll be online for a little bit. I'll be prepping as well. And if you have any further questions, I'll be here. God bless. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.